May 18th. As the sun rises, workers at Sepilok get the bear cages ready to go. The animals are supposed to leave in just 2 days. So as the workers scrub and polish and do their part to get things ready, back at the hotel, the bear tag team is rushing to finalize details. After reading the morning emails, though, bad news. It seems the team does not have permission yet to keep the animals in Tokyo.
We will contact several institutes and organizations tomorrow morning and let you know what we can do for you.
There's no proper animal holding facility there, and permits can't be granted quickly enough to move the animals out to a nearby zoo. The team doesn't even have word on whether they can take the 2 extra bears that they'd like to, or just the ones they have permits for. With little more than 48 hours before the bears are supposed to leave here, it's a frustrating time. As the team waits for answers, research that will help them care for the bears is underway just a few hours from here. This is Danum Valley. Early morning mist clings to the ground and trees, while a small group of Asian elephants chews on choice ginger plants. The elephants can roam freely here. There's plenty of food, and this sliver of rainforest is protected, part of a conservation area that contains more than 400 kilometers of untouched rainforest. But even here, the logging industry isn't far away. Logging trucks lumber over the roads that run through the valley, hauling out the tropical hardwood. In fact, the conservation area is surrounded by 10,000 square kilometers of forest that's in use, forest that was either logged years ago or is still being logged today. This combination of primary rainforest and recently logged land is where Wong Si-tu spends most of his time. He was born in Malaysia, but is going to school in the U.S. He's one of the few researchers in the world who's trying to study sun bears in the wild.
No one studied this bear before, and I just basically have to start from nowhere. I wanted to find out about the ecology of the bear, the basic ecology, for example, their home range, what they eat in the forest, their food habits, their activity patterns, their movement patterns, reproductive biology if possible, basically just everything about the bear, because this is the least known bear in the world.
Just 2 weeks ago, Wong captured a male bear and was able to place a radio collar on it. It's the signal from that bear number 122, that he's trying to find this morning.
The bear's not here.
In a little over a year of working through the heat and bugs of the forest, Wong has only been able to capture 4 bears. Sun bears are highly intelligent and wary of traps. To make matters more difficult, 2 of the bears he has captured have since died, and a 3rd has disappeared.
Well, of course, as a bear researcher, the last thing you want to have is your studied animal die. But this is part of the game. The animal born, animal grown up, animal gets sick, animal die. And sometimes you just have to accept it. It's frustrated, but there's nothing you can do.
The rain can fall thick and heavy here, wiping out the usual signs of bear activity, paw prints and scat. But their habit of climbing trees leaves behind one indication of bear activity that's easy to spot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claw, dig in very deeply and distinctive. And this is how they climb. And they use their front foot to hold themselves on a tree. And then this is actually made from their hind foot. and then they just walk themselves up to a tree, just like people using lumberjack shoes.
Even though he's found evidence of a lot of activity here, Wong still can't entice the bear who's here to come into his trap.
This particular trap site, there is a special bear, I would call it a very smart bear, that has been come check on the trap site for the last 6 months and never go into a trap.
Often, an animal that will take a chance entering a trap for food is already very old or very sick. Not being able to easily find food, it will enter the trap hoping for a quick meal. It's no surprise that the first 3 bears that Wong caught all had canine teeth that were severely worn down, a sure sign of age. They were also underweight, and one had enormous parasites on its body. Wong believes that the bear that's been leaving marks here has visited this site more than 20 times, taken the outside bait that he uses to lure the bears to the trap, but has never gone for the bait inside the trap. He suspects it's because the bear is too healthy to need to take that sort of risk for a meal. The closest he's gotten to this animal is one quick shot taken by the motion-sensitive cameras he's set up around his traps. Studying the habits of wild bears isn't just an academic exercise, it also helps people who are taking care of sun bears in captivity.
Well, we might get a better idea of what their social situation is like. That might give us a better indication of how we should be forming our social groups in a captive situation. Do we want to keep males and females together all the time? Should they only come together for brief periods? We just know so little about them that there isn't anything that we couldn't benefit from learning about them.
By the end of the day, using the height of an observation tower for better range, Wong is able to locate bear number 122.
I think, well, he's about 3 kilometers, somewhere there. And then what I'll do is I'll drive along that road to find a second point, then where the 2 line cross is the locations of the animal.
From here, it seems impossible that there isn't enough room for the sun bears, but logging and the growing number of palm oil plantations have eroded vast stretches of primary habitat, and Wong believes that time is running out for him and for the sun bears.
If I don't start the project now, I don't think there'll be a good place to start my project, maybe in the next 10 years.
It's a costly delay, but it does give Darren Collins a chance to examine one of the bears a little more closely. This is Kodoyan, a 17-year-old bear who's been at the center for years, but is long overdue for a physical. The first step is to sedate Kodoyan using a pump-operated dart gun.
Okay. I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
While the team has been able to get a lot of information from observation, getting this close gives them their best chance to examine the animals.
This looks like an old snare wound, and that's not going to cause her any problem. That's old, and that's healed.
The slightly lighter brown coat indicates age as well, that the coat goes
What
a
we've
bit
seen with
pale.
older bears in the States, this brown, gray start showing up, the ticking on the fur, which would indicate an older bear.
Now, I only know from watching television that I'm meant to be holding this up in the air. Is this right?
That's perfect.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
So that's about 12 cc's. There's a lot of information that can come from that volume of blood.
Getting this close to a bear also has its benefits for bear researcher Wong Si-tu, who's come to Sepilok today. He takes measurements to compare with his study animals, and he discovers that captive bears are certainly larger than the ones he's been studying in Danam Valley.
45. Have you caught bears in the wild this way?
Male 44.
Male 44?
Yes.
So this is a larger female.
Oh, and in the wild, Gabriela female weighs 25.
25.
25, 23.
Uh-huh.
For female, I don't think they'll grow that fat in the wild.
So we'll put her in with her face towards the front of the cage. So we'll turn. There we go.
In a few minutes, the exam is over, and the bear is put back in her cage. As she wakes up, Collins is happy with what he's seen.
Okay. Her eyes look good, and her hair coat looks good, and she's in a well-conditioned weight.
For now, this is all the work that can be done on these bears. With the return to the U.S. delayed for a week, all the team can do now is wait and hope that nothing else goes wrong.